Welcome to the Excellent Podcast. I'm your cinematic host, STEFON WHITAKER, the head honcho of SW Films. And today we have a very special guest on the podcast, hailing from the town. Okay, I want to make sure the town, right?
Yes.
Oakland, absolutely. We have Btha Reason here on the podcast. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for getting on here and you know, getting a chance just to, you know, have a conversation and get a chance just to get to know you more for all of my listeners and all of your listeners too. Just a nice little collaboration right here. So I appreciate it. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm doing good. I'm booked and busy, so
Booked and busy.
I'm getting things, you know, getting things together.
Absolutely. I'm excited to hear about the booked and busy because it's like me and you, of course, I'm a filmmaker. Most of my folks know that. And of course, you are an artist, a rapper, and everything. And I'm interested just to, because you know, I'm the little background on me, real quick for you is like I'm originally from Indiana. I've been out here in the Bay now for about 3 years, so I've been trying to, like, of course, I'm heavily involved within the film world, and then when it comes to the music side of stuff, which I always like to get involved in as well. I'm still trying to see more of like the music scene and stuff out this way, which I know is huge. There's a lot of different artists out here that are really popping. And of course, you know, everyone's going to want to hear just where you're at in your journey, quote unquote, you know, to be in this particular position. So I'm happy that you're here. So first and foremost, you know, speak to your excellence, give it a little bit of introduction of yourself, and
Yes.
we can hop into it.
So my name is Btha Reason. I am from East Oakland, California. I had to let y'all know East Oakland because it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 23 years old. I'll be 24 in June. And I've just been grinding out here for a couple of years now. But I've really been pushing myself as a brand for probably like the last 2 years. And so things are starting to pick up for me, which is good. I'm excited. I love to work. One thing about me, I'm passionate about music. It's not just like I'm doing it for a trend or I'm doing it because I want to be cool. Like I've been doing music since I was like 14, 15. So this is something that's like, it wasn't really my dream originally, but a hobby that turned into like my dream, you know? So it's just, I'm like I said in my rap, I really just rap because I'm good at it. Because that's really the truth. Like, trust me, I would not be out here rapping if I didn't know how.
Yeah. Nah, look, I've been bumping 100 rounds.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been bumping that shit because that shit is hard, first and foremost. Like,
thank you.
That shit is super, super hard. And absolutely, like I think it's, you know, with the music scene and stuff, especially out in the Bay Area just has such a heavy music scene. Like it's I think everyone, no matter where you're at, whether you're in LA, whether you're in the East Coast somewhere, like people, the Bay Area has a mark there. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see yourself out there doing what you got to do and just be out rapping hella people too. You know what I mean?
You know how that go.
Come
you know,
on now.
When you got skill, you ain't gotta do too much. You just gotta, you know, show your skills. So.
Exactly. So one of my questions is you mentioned something too, especially about a hobby. That's definitely questions too. To, you know, it started out as a hobby and then it became real. Yes. But I want to know what got you into doing music and rapping too. Like what made you want to take that path the most?
Well, it really, like I said, it started off as a hobby in high school. And I just noticed like that I was good. Like I was impressing people. And so I love to do that. I'm an entertainer by heart. I used to dance and cheer. And so I love to entertain. So when I noticed that people were like impressed by my bars and the guys was like, hold on, they trying to out rap me. And I'm like, you know, I love that energy. And so honestly, when I went to college in 2016 and 17, I stopped rapping and I was just really focused on school. I moved back home and I was like going through a little depression, and then music helped me to get out that depression. Like, honestly, I wouldn't know where I would be. So I would say like, I started taking it serious once I got back in the flow of things. And I was like, you know what, let me post on Instagram, because that's when Instagram was kind of like, everybody was doing freestyles and stuff. And so when I started getting recognition from like some of the Bay Area legends, like Mr. Fab and I'm Sue, I'm like, wow. I might can actually do this. Like, I might can actually, you know, go somewhere with this. So I took it serious once, like, I seen eyes was on me and people was really like impressed. And I was like, I could do something with this. Like, this is not just fun. Like, I could really probably try to push myself as a brand. And so I just started doing that ever since. So
Wow, that's awesome. And especially to get, like, I can imagine, right? Like Mr. Fab, I Am Fab, all these different folks, like getting that recognition definitely is probably one of the to really lock you in. Really, you know what? Like, nah, I'm gonna really take this really in myself in the same rooms as these people. You know what I mean? Get the same opportunities or more opportunities than those people.
most
That's
definitely.
super dope. That's dope. So like you said school, like went to school out in East Oak school.
Yes, I went to all my schools was in East Oakland. From elementary, I went to Horseman Elementary, then I went to Frick Middle School, and then I went to Fremont. So those who in Oakland know them all the schools that's, you know, in the hood. And so Fremont, actually, we had a media program. So it was a studio at our school. So that was like my advantage. I learned how to rap and they just put me in the studio like, what's up? So
that's dope. That's dope. And you know, it's crazy too, because it's like I know that it's always interesting too, right? Because, and we're definitely gonna delve more into like the side of like how it is being a woman in this rap game too. Because I feel like there's like, while it still encompasses the open aspect of the music industry and hip hop and stuff, there also is like some different kind of forms of conversations and stuff that are being had in that realm. But like for you getting out there and rapping out of like all the other guys that might have rap and like out rapping them, like I imagine that was probably one of those that really like improve, like, you know what, I'm actually gonna do this shit because I'm better than all these dudes that's trying to rap. Ain't none of them doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I'd imagine that was probably like a big thing too. And people see that and then it's like they want to you and all that kind of stuff. That's dope. That's super dope. Like you said, you stopped rapping in college, right?
Yes, I did. I took a long break, like 2 years. So.
Oh wow. So I mean, was it more of like a resources thing a little bit? Because I know because you know, I've mentored a couple people before who wanted to be like, you know, rappers, or I've worked with a lot of different rappers back in Indiana, rappers in Florida too when I was going to school out there. But a lot of the time it's the resources that kind of stop people. Some people like, I don't really, you know, either it's the resources of money or just the resources of all the equipment that is used to get shit done. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they don't have like if they don't have the money to go to the studio, sometimes they might think, should I buy this shit myself? Like, did that ever come up to a thought at all? Or did you have like people as you were rising up and building that you could kind of go to for some of them resources?
So in college, it was a little different for me because when I went to college, I wasn't taking music serious. It was still like just very much a hobby. So I was still getting free studio time. Like I didn't really know about paying for studio or nothing like that. So when I went to college, I seen a few of my friends was rapping, and it was like at all the house parties, they would be like playing their music. And I'm like, this is my perfect opportunity to let them know I know how to rap, you know, but I ain't gonna lie. No shade, but they didn't really take me too serious, you know, because I didn't have no music out. I didn't have nothing to show them really. I had a few raps to show them, but they was like, oh, you good? We gonna put you in the studio. You know, one of them like, and so honestly, I didn't know nobody that was really like, you know what? I'm gonna take you to the studio right now. Like, let's go. Like, I probably went to the studio one time out there, but it was really just like fun play. It was never really too serious. And so also just being a struggling student, like, I was a struggling college student. Like, I'm not even about to get on here and start capping. Like, I just had it. Like, no, I was paying my rent. I was trying to pay for food. I'm still trying to get drunk on the weekends and, you know, buy my outfits and stuff. And being a girl, you got to buy your hygiene stuff. And I was like, my pockets was, I ain't gonna lie, my pockets is not looking like I need to be paying for studio time. So it just wasn't really like, it still wasn't too serious to me in college. I was like, I could rap, but it wasn't like I want to be a rapper. Like, it was never on, I was not on that level yet. And so once I moved home, things kind of changed a little bit for me.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college at?
I was in Chico. So I was supposed to go, I was at Butte Community College, but it's the feeder school to Chico. And so I was supposed to do like 2 years at Butte and then transfer, but I ended up cutting it short and going back home. Chico's a lot. Chico is a lot.
I think college is always one of them kind of things where people just, it's like you got to kind of figure out what's the, like, you still have to figure out what you want to do. You know what I mean? I applaud people who still want to go to college to like try to figure it out. But sometimes I always say, look, at the end of the day, you really, like, for certain things you need college, but not like, you know, to be a musician or even a filmmaker, you don't need college for that.
Right.
But okay, so with you going out and like doing your thing in music, what inspired you up into that point for you to take it serious? Like what kind of artists inspired you, or what kind of like experiences did you have? Like whether it was like a show that you went to, or like just even the littlest things that kind of inspired you to say, you know what, I'm gonna take this serious, or just, you know, what has inspired the music that you make now?
I would definitely say the first show I did, I opened up for Showbanga at the Complex, probably like, I can't even tell you the year,
Complex,
probably like 2018, probably
Yeah.
2019. And I was the last opener, or I was like the second to last opener before Showbanga came out. This is my first time performing at a real venue. Like I did talent shows, I did community shows and stuff, but I never did like a real show. And I was so nervous, but like somehow once I got on stage, like the energy I was giving, like the whole building was like shaking. Like it was like everybody was just fucking with it. And so Mr. Fab was there in the building, and he recorded me and posted me and was like, yeah, she going crazy. Y'all tag her, this and that. People tagging me, and I'm like, oh shit, Mr. Fab post me. I'm like super juiced. But then also I would say I was still kind of straddling the fence around that time, because I mentally couldn't see myself, like I wanted to be a lawyer. So I couldn't see myself like taking rap like being a rapper. My mind was like, I'm gonna be a lawyer, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna help my community. And so honestly, I did a snippet of this one song, it's called Freedom. I posted a snippet and the snippet went up, like for me, not viral like for everybody, but for me, like I was getting attention I never got before, like comments, like Scandal, the Dark Lord was like, drop this. I'm like, oh shit, Scandal telling me to drop this. I'm like nervous. I'm like, fuck, I think people really like this song. Like they was going crazy. Everybody like, drop this. And then when I dropped it, the response was crazy. People was fucking with it. And I think that's a song that people was like, okay, I'm gonna take her serious now. Like I see her grinding, I see her working, but this the one that okay, she could do it. Like, you know, I think people start really believing in me after that song. And so just to see that response, I was like it was just like that last thing. I was like, I got it. Like I know I got it. I can feel it now. Like I believe I got it now. And so since then, like I just been pushing. I mean, it's been ups and downs, but I just been pushing since then. Like
I mean, just from like looking at your Instagram and looking at the videos and stuff, like there's definitely like I went back into the Instagram to see. So it's like there's a lot of growth within that. And that's really dope. You know what I mean? And especially just to hear like just your very first show like that, the Complex. I have never been to the Complex, and I know that they have a bunch of different shows and shit that go on over there. But like imagining your first show and the Mr. Fab is there. Did you know that he was there when you went there?
No, I didn't know he was there.
That's crazy.
I'm just performing, and then I get off stage and they like, Fab want to talk to you. Fab want to talk to you. I'm like, Fab want to talk to me? I could barely breathe. I just did like a full song. And so my mind was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. And then just to have that, to see that he wanted to, like, now he posted you after you spoke to him, or during, before, like how did that go?
Like he posted me instantly, like while I was performing, he posted me. And then I didn't notice it until I think my adrenaline was rushing. Like I just everything was like, you know, I didn't really settle in until I got home and I watched his story and I was like, that's me on his story. Like that's me.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, and I seen on one of your posts too, just about shows and stuff, how you said the performing is like your favorite part of like this whole thing right now. And I definitely want to delve into that too, because I think a lot of artists, you know, new artists now, for, you know, at least a lot of people that I worked with back in Indiana, like there's a few people that they make good music, but they forget like, yo, you got to perform. You got to be out there and go out to these shows. And I'm sure you've heard it from all these different artists. It's like, yo, that's how you make the money. You know what I mean? Is by performing. You know, and I think just the fact that that's like something that you really like, and I've seen your performances too, just from the Instagrams, like it definitely shows like you get the crowd involved, you get their energy hyped up as your energy's rising up. Like what makes that the best part of the artistry for you, and when did that become the best part of it for you?
I think just to start off, because I was a dancer for so many years and I was a cheerleader, and so that's just naturally in me to like entertain a crowd, like perform. But when it comes to music, it's a little bit different because it's more personal, I feel like. So I think what it was is like when I'm performing, especially when the crowd is feeding off of me, it really amps me up. Like I kind of feed off the crowd. And so
Mm-hmm.
when they was already turned, I just came in, and like once I get comfortable, it's just like, you know, I'm out there. But honestly, I think the best feeling is because it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
your adrenaline is rushing, but in the moment, like you could seize the moment. It's like slow
Yeah.
motion or something. Like I can't explain it,
Yeah.
but it's like it's just such a good feeling to know that my art is making people amped
Yeah.
up or happy or turned up or whatever, or they
Exactly.
impressed. They probably
Mm-hmm.
looking at me like, well, I get this a lot. People think, oh, what's she about to do? She about to sing? Like they look at me, they like,
Right.
what's this girl about to do? What she do?
Oh
And
man.
then I
Yeah.
get up there and I'm like, and they're like, oh, and they
Right.
like,
Going in.
yeah. So I feed off of that, and I feel like
Yeah.
artists, like you said, sometimes they don't, they worry too much about just putting music out or about the streams and stuff like that. But like that's where you connect with your
But yeah.
supporters. That's
Exactly.
that's the best way. That's like the number one way. I feel like that's like
Mm-hmm.
the way you connect directly to the consumer, directly to the supporter. Like it's no machine in front of y'all, it's no phone in front of y'all. Like it's you
Mm-hmm.
in the crowd. So you got to
Exactly.
figure out how to entertain them. And so I was born
Exactly.
to do that. I mean, you know, sometimes I win myself out because I'm just going
Mm-hmm.
too hard. I gotta make sure I'm, you know, really back
Right.
in. But other than that, like I just feed off of the crowd, and I feed off of like my lyrics, like how I felt when I wrote it. And I'm just like, oh, it's all
Mm-hmm.
getting to me. My emotions is running, and I'm just like,
Going
I'm
in.
in another world. Like I'm in another world. Like I'm not here. I'm here, but I'm not here. Like
Right. That's awesome. Like when you did that very first show, like how was the nerves that going into that show? Because I mean, it's different. You said you did the whole like the performing in college and all that stuff and community stuff, but like a show complex, which is in like downtown Oakland, like how did how did you handle that?
So I came a long way from my nerves. I'm gonna say this. I used to literally cry before performances because I was so
Wow.
nervous. The energy, like I just had to get it out before I got on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally be crying. My mom's like, "Come on, girl, you got it." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just nervous. Like I don't know if I can do it." But they
Yeah.
always push me to be like, "Girl, you got it." And so because I performed a few times before then, but this is just my first show like at a venue. So
Mm-hmm.
my family was there to support me. That's the show I had like most of my family there, like because it was my first show,
Yeah.
you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I felt very much comfortable, but I was still nervous about people who don't know me, like what they gonna think of me. I was
Right.
probably thinking more of like what they gonna think of me, if they gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just learned how to like. I mean, everybody not gonna like you, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
long as I'm for these many minutes, I'm putting on my show and I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm saying my words, I'm reciting my lyrics, I'm giving my all. That's all I could do. And so I think that just helped me with my nerves because I got anxiety bad. And so
Yeah.
now it's like second nature. I could just get a mic, get on stage and whatever. But in the beginning, it was very hard. I used to have to wear like shades because like I felt like
Yeah.
that was helping me somehow, like, you know, but
Yeah, because it's like that eye contact you might have with somebody in the
the
stand,
eye contact.
out there.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't even look at the people. I'd be looking like above their heads. Now I'm like in your face. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's up? Because I
Yeah.
just learned how to like navigate through that. So
Exactly. That's what's up. Like, it's cool that you mentioned the like, crying and stuff on like beforehand, but like now, but you've kind of mastered that and still getting to that real like, because imagine it'll be so much different once you get into a crowd of like 30,000 people and where the
right.
music is louder, the stage is louder, there's more everything, like, so obviously it's only going to get better from here, but like, do you have any like pre-ritual stuff that you do now before you hop on stage, or is it kind of just you just kind of feel yourself for a little while and then hop out there? Like, what is the vibe now before you actually hop on?
So if it's because during COVID I did a few like live performances and like live stream or like by myself performances. Those are very much different. I have to amp myself up because I have no crowd to feed off of. But now that we're back and I'm doing shows with crowds, I literally just like I kind of just try not to think about it too much. Once it get close, I kind of just, hey, I'm mingling, I'm networking, I'm like kind of keeping myself busy. And then right before I go on, I kind of just breathe. I give myself deep breaths, make sure I'm breathing. And I'm just kind of like, I don't try to think about it too much. Like, I'm just giving myself affirmations in my head. Like, you're going to get on there, you're going to kill it. Just do you, be yourself, have fun. I be telling myself, have fun,
That's the main thing.
have fun, because people can feel it. People can feel when you're having fun. People can feel when you passionate. People can feel it. It's energy. And so I want to give them good, positive, good energy. So I be trying to affirmations like, you can do this, girl. You got this. You did this plenty of times. Like, just think about all the things I did accomplish and like where I want to go, and just kind of giving myself like that little pep talk. And I always have like my mom with me. My mom's at almost every show if she can't go. So she just like, girl, you better get out there and kill it. Don't worry. Like, she patting she makes sure everything all good.
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, it's not like a real ritual. I know some people be doing like crazy stuff before they get on. I probably take a few shots just to loosen me up and give me like a little, you feel me? But other than that, like, I'm ready.
That's dope. Now, like, when it comes to like the people, you said, of course, your mom is like there, you know, as much shows as you can be at. Do you have like I guess like any people that usually kind of rock with you along this journey that you're on right now? Like, as far as like managers or just some homies, or what kind of stuff you got?
Well, right now I have a team, all friends and family, not really anybody like managing me or anything like that. I'm independent. But I do have a team of families and friends, my cousins, one of my close friends, April, my sister. I also affiliate with a group called Global Mob, and he made a label while he was incarcerated, and when he got out, he started just pushing, and he kind of just was supporting me as well throughout my journey. Resources that I probably needed and I couldn't get it, he'll be there and support. Also, I just got into Project Level. It's a I don't know if you heard of Project Level.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Frisco. Yeah, and so they help out kids and young teens who want to get into music, fashion, and film. Yeah. And so Troy, my mentor, he always pushing me, making sure like I'm staying on my toes, I'm keeping consistent, I'm staying productive, like, you know. So I do have a team. I have different teams and stuff, but I don't have like an official manager, an official this and that, because I feel like I don't really need a manager now. At the level
you're managing yourself basically.
I'm managing myself,
you know what I mean? And it's like, it's good too, because I think everybody, like, for an artist, you definitely, it's good to have just people that can help push you along the way. You know what I mean? Because
I think I underestimated having a team, because in the beginning, first of all, I'm very much independent. Like, I was raised to be kind of like that, you know. That goes into a whole nother conversation, but so it was very hard for me to ask for help, for one. I don't really like asking for help. I just learned how to I gotta reach out sometimes, and now I understand the importance of how people be like, you're not gonna be able to do it by yourself. And it's like, and I used to be like, I can do it. Like, I used to be like, I got this. No, you need a team. This is an industry you're going against. One person cannot go against a whole machine in the industry. You need a team. And so now I'm more comfortable with being like, okay, I can't do this by myself. I do need this. Reach out for help. And so it's very important. Like, that's, without a team, I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be like a miracle. But
it's crazy, because I mean, if you look at like a lot of the popular like female artists right now, like if you look at like a Megan Thee Stallion, a Cardi B, or like, you know, any one of like them in that category, they all have gigantic teams, not just in the terms of like what's happening in the studio, but what happens online. You know, what happens in the music video shoots, what happens at these interviews, what happened, like, you know, there's a bunch of different kind of teams of people for those kind of things. And I think it's just like, it's super important, because it helps kind of also for you just figure out where you want to take your artistry as it continues to grow, just like how deep or in depth do you want to take it? You know what I mean? I think that's the important thing about it too, you know?
And I think that is very important as well, because sometimes wearing too many hats can deter you from the art. And and I went through a phase like that where I was kind of doing everything, and my art was being stagnant. So I had to I went on a hiatus. Like, I went like 6 months, like not really on Instagram posting like that too much, not really hanging out with my friends. Like, I had to really just lock myself in, write, get back in the groove of writing and creating, because I was doing too much Instagram, too much marketing, too much managing too much of the other stuff that I had to literally like, I'm an artist. People want the art.
Right.
I mean, people want
Exactly.
the other stuff, but like the art is what I have to push. And so that's important that you said that. That's very important.
And that leads me into another conversation too, because I've been seeing this a lot for a lot of artists too, right? If you so you said you're 23, so we're in the same age range. Basically, it's like a lot of artists nowadays, right? Like, especially the ones that are maybe in their like early 20s or even in maybe like late teens or something. Sometimes it's not always like, sometimes they don't focus so much on the art, instead they focus on the antics, the little weird wild shit that people be doing like on Instagram, you know what I mean? Like just the weird shit. A lot of people just focus on trying to make people laugh or make a stupid viral moment off of Instagram, compared to actually like getting in the studio and creating a dope song, a dope art, a dope album, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Like, I guess for yourself, right? Like you said, you're focusing on the art, but what aspects do you take into like social media, as far as like the branding part of it? Like how have you approached that, or have you found any kind of, I guess, troubles in that so far?
Oh, I went up and down with social media. Like I went from literally the same 5 to 10 people liking and commenting on my stuff to now I have a bigger audience. I literally built myself up, and I'm still building myself up. I'm still not where I want to be yet, or I'm still not, but honestly, like it was hard in the beginning because I felt like my page was too personal, and it wasn't like, my page didn't look how it look now. I'm gonna say that. It looked more branded. It looked more a little bit more together. Like, okay, we see she's doing something here. At first, it was just kind of like me winging it, just, hey y'all, like, because I'm goofy. I show my personality. I'm like, but I had to learn, like, okay, I gotta try to figure out how to mix it both, where I can still be personable, because that's you need to be personable, but make my page more professional and like brand myself. And so, like, of course, purple, I wear purple hair, so that's why you see those purple squares on my page. And so like just making it look like nice. And honestly, once I did that, the opportunity started rolling in more. I ain't gonna lie. They like, oh, she kind of serious. Let me see what you want to do a show. You want to do this? Let's do a feature, But I definitely had like my ups and downs, and I felt like now I'm learning, like, okay, also don't be too professional, because people want to see me as a person. So I hop on live sometimes. I'm like, what's up, y'all? I'm on live, just showing them how like I am as a person, or I'm posting funny TikToks, or I'm posting like funny memes, like also still like being a human, but I'm still an artist. And so to figure out how to do both, oh Lord. But I do have a personal page. I do have my own personal page with just friends and family. So I could get on there and really just like, but once I get on Journey page, I try to be more conscious and mindful about what I'm posting. Am I posting something that helps my brand, hurts my brand? Like, is this helpful? Like, just being a little bit more cautious. So
right. Yeah. And I was gonna say too, I think a question that a lot of people, a lot of rappers and artists don't ever get asked is like, is JourneyBtha Reason the same as you outside of that? Like, is there two different types of personalities, or is it just like still one whole person, but with maybe a little bit of added stuff to it?
Yeah, so I would say it's 2 different people, but they are very similar in some ways, I'm gonna say. So my name is Zaria. So Zaria is like a schoolgirl. Like I said, I was in college. I did debate. I did cheer. Like, she's like the innocent schoolgirl, the innocent family member, the girl who don't do nothing really. She's just like sweet, innocent, cute, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's not social at all. She's like in her own bubble. Like, Journey is more like my outspoken side. Like, I could kind of like say more, do more, and I'm a Gemini too, by the way. So it's easy for me to like, it's easy for me to like, so Journey is the other side. Like, when you hear my music, you're like, oh, this girl talking now. Like that's the side I get to be like more aggressive. I get to say what I want. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just more like, it's a side that you would never see from Zaria. Zaria is more like, like, I'm all about community organizing. I love all my black men. I love all my black women. Like,
absolutely.
Journey's like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Like, you play with me, I'm like, like, stop. Like,
come on,
So it is kind of like two different people, but in the same aspect, they are very alike in some ways, to where like they're both very, very passionate, like very much passionate. And then just like being able to be creative in both ways. Like I'm creative, not just in writing, but I could also dance. I could also sketch. Like I know how to do different type of things, you know? So
right. Exactly. And I think that alone just helps in your overall life too. You know what I mean? Because I think it's important. You know what I mean? And I mean, shit, as myself, as an artist and stuff, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, as a writer, and all that kind of stuff, I can see that and appreciate that, because it's like sometimes it's hard for people to try to separate the two, if they even want to separate the two. You know what I mean?
right.
And, that's how you see a lot of people, like, shout out to Kanye looking all crazy as hell all through social media when he was going at Kim, and I don't know, it's antics. You know what I mean? A lot of people focus on these antics and stuff, and instead of the art most of the time. But
and when you mentioned that, it's crazy because I do know artists who use their name as their artist name, and you can tell like the difference from an artist who use their name and an artist who don't, because it's kind of like I feel like the artists who use their name, they're being them. They're showing up as them authentically. Like it's no, like this is me, like, but an artist who kind of got a nickname or a rap name, they kind of have a different little, like, not an alter ego, but kind of just a different side of them. That's like, you can definitely see the difference.
For sure. How did you come up with your rap name? Btha Reason.
Lord. So I started off in high school. My name was Lil Zareezy, because like I said, my name is
Lil Zareezy. All right.
So I went like a year with that name, and I think I got sick and tired of that name, because everybody at my high school be like Lil Zareezy, and I'm like, why did I tell everybody this is my name? Like I was so mad. I did not want that name no more. So I'm like, what can I do? I'm sitting down, like I literally, like for 3 days, I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be my new name. Like I wanted to do something with my name, Zaria, but then I was like, that's just kind of weird. I don't know nobody like in the game, so, like not like that, but I'm like, okay, let me try to make up something else. And so actually my sister, she was I think she was pregnant at the time, or she was something like that, and she was jotting down baby names and stuff, and one of the names came up with Journey, and I was kind of like, hold on, I might have to use that, like, And she named her, they ended up naming the baby Treasure, so Journey was up for grabs. So I'm like,
there you go.
I grabbed it, but honestly, it took me a while to brand myself as Journey. So when I went to college, like I said, when I went to college, I just started telling people my name is Journey instead of Zaria. The only people who know me as Zaria is like the first 5 people who met me out there. But other than that, I'm like, okay, I know what I could do. I'm gonna tell everybody my name Journey. And it took me a while. Let me tell you, people would be like Journey, and I'm just like not paying attention, like and then they like Journey, and I'm like, oh shit, like, oh yeah, that's me. Like,
right.
But then by the time I got home, I was Journey. Like everybody, I'm Journey with the purple hair now. So I'm like, okay. Then I added B. It was just Journey B. But then that's when Cardi popped off, and I was like, oh, I can't be another B. I don't want to be like one thing about me. I love to be original. I don't want to be a second or and so I'm like, okay, I don't want to change my name because I love Journey. Everybody know me as Journey now. What can I do? And so then I thought of Journey Be the Truth, because I was like, that's around the time I was spitting more conscious, lyrical freestyles and stuff. I was really starting off as a conscious rap. People don't know that, but and so I was like, Journey Be the Truth, because I always spit the truth, like. But then it was just kind of corny to me. I'm like, that's kind of corny. Like, Journey Be the Truth.
With the
then, I don't know, something just was like, Journey Be the Reason. And I was like, I kind of like that. And then in my raps, I started playing off of it, like, Journey Be the Reason all these bitches mad, or Journey Be the Reason, Journey Be. And I was like, I think I like this one. And it just stuck with me. And then when I tell people, they be like, yeah, I like that, Journey Be the Reason. I'm like, okay, I got one. And so that's me now. I'm Journey Be the Reason.
That's dope. I like that. I definitely, when you use it in like raps and stuff like that, I think that makes a lot of sense too. Just for a lot of stuff. That's super dope. That's awesome. Like, I don't know if you said what artists inspire you to make music. Like, what artists overall, whether it's Bay Area artists or just artists just out all over, all across the world. What kind of artists inspire you?
So I'll start off with mainstream, and then I'll get to Bay Area. So for mainstream, of course, Nicki Minaj. I'm a barb.
Queen.
That's the queen. And my thing is, like, why would I not like the best, most successful rapper? Like, the hottest rapper. Why would I not? be inspired by her. How can I not, you know? And then I will also say Wayne. I am a Wayne fan. Like,
yeah.
I'm a younger Wayne fan, but I'm still a Wayne fan. And so
yeah.
He just intrigued me. Same with her, him and Nicki, like, they intrigues me. Like, I don't think it's too many rappers that I'd be like, whoa, what they say? And I'm going back and I'm like I'm excited. I'm actually like, I got chills. I'm like, oh shit. Like, they say shit that's so intriguing. I'm like, I want to say that. I want to, you know? And so that very much inspired me. And then also, like, because my mom and also a few adults at my school, when they noticed I was rapping, they was like, oh, come here. They giving me rap lessons. They like, you remind me of Roxanne Shante and this and this and that.
Damn,
and they telling me to go listen to artists. So when I went back to listen to older artists, I fell in love with MC Light. I was like, I really like her flow, her swag, and her cadence. Like, she was just that girl. And like, you could tell she was that girl back in the day by the way
for
she
sure.
fit. Like, I'm like, bro, I love it. And then I will also have to say Nas. I love me a Nas because just his ability to be able to storytell and be able, like, the way that I love the way he rapped, the words he choose. Just everything is an art. It's just like an art, and I love that, you know. And so that would be my mainstream. Oh yeah, and I also have to say A Boogie with the Hoodie. I was a big A Boogie fan. Like, I was there from the beginning, like when he was on SoundCloud, and I watched his journey
going crazy.
So he inspired me not just with his sound, but more so his journey. And I seen him go from a SoundCloud rapper to one of the hottest rappers in New York.
Completely.
And I was a part of that journey as a fan. So it just pushed me to be like, if he came from nothing to something by just keep working and being consistent, you could do it too, you know? And so that was those who inspired me. That's more mainstream. But when it comes to Bay Area rap, of course, Too Short, he is the godfather. I would definitely have to say I Am Sue. I am a big I Am Sue fan. Like, that was my favorite HBK member. So I'm an I Am Sue fan. Like, also, I would have to say Neff the Pharaoh. I love me some Neff. Not only is he just genuine and humble as a person, but his music is just, I love his music. I love his style. And I love his confidence and also his humor he put in his songs. I don't think a lot of people notice, but he's funny. He was saying some funny shit. Like, so when it comes to Bay Area, I want to say those are my like top 3 that inspire me. But yeah, most definitely.
And see that, I think that segue is perfect into my next question, just about the music scene in the Bay, right? So like, you know, I've met a few folks. Like I did have a chance to meet Stunner Man one time. And it's crazy because when I met Stunner Man, I didn't actually, you know, like I said, me being from Indiana, and I was only like 2 years in living here, I didn't really know exactly who he was at that time. And I don't think he had put out Big Stephen at the time. But I mean, if you look at Big Stephen, that shit is like worldwide now. I mean, that shit is everywhere. You know what I mean? Definitely did that. And then, you know, you look at like artists who are like really blowing up like that. Like, of course, Stunner Man. You look at La Russell from Vallejo, who's been popping off real heavy.
Love me some La Russell.
La Russell's super fucking dope. I love all the shit that I've been seeing him put out there. Who else I've seen? My man Honest. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's out of Oakland. He's super dope.
Honest 10.
Yeah. That's the homie. Shout out to him.
He's super dope.
Who the fuck else? There's like a few other artists that I've definitely have heard of, and maybe Honey Gold Jasmine. There's a few other people that I've met and like spoken to and stuff like that. But I want to hear from your opinion, just from you climbing up in this scene right now. Like, what is your opinions on the local scene here in the Bay, and like how do you think that there should be put more light shed on the Bay as far as just like the music and the arts and stuff out here?
Oh Lord, I have mixed reviews about the scene out here, because there is a scene. There's definitely a scene, and there is a group, but you got to get in, and it's so hard to get in. And it's a little different out here. Like, I feel like, not to compare ourselves to anybody else, but in Atlanta, you could be coming like straight from the porch, and niggas will grab you and be like, I see the potential, let's go. Out here, they wait till you pop, then they you know, then they come here and let's, you know, so it's a little different. It's like, you got to artist develop yourself. And then once you get into those rooms, it's different, but you got to get in there. And so I learned how, at first I'm like, there's no scene out here. Everybody don't, they do. You just got to get in there. And so once I started showing up and just like really showing up, I don't even got, honestly, not even rapping, but if I get invited to a studio session, still show up because now I'm networking. If I get invited to a show, I'm not performing, but still show up because I'm networking. Once I get in rooms with people that's in rooms then you know, but it's so, I ain't gonna lie, it is very hard to get in those rooms because they want to wait until you got to show, like, they not like, oh, we see the talent. They like, well, what else you got? You know, I know you got the talent. Where's your following? Where is this? Where's that? And so now, like, I used to be so focused on kind of getting in those rooms. Now I just do me and I end up in those rooms. You know, like, I'm not, that's not my, like, oh, I want to get, it's more just like me being myself, and I end up getting an opportunity to be in those rooms. And then once I got the opportunity, I'm making sure I'm doing stuff to stay in those rooms, and, you know, so I still have doors I got to beat down, you know? And so it's a little hard.
it's interesting because, you know, I mean, I think you really knocked it out of the park with that exact example, as far as just like in Atlanta, there'll be people out there that can really fuck around, and like I feel like there's more of this like village mentality, and I mean, when I say that, I mean more of like they, like how they say, you know, that whole thing where they say it takes a village to raise a child type situation. Like, people are going to come together in Atlanta, and I feel like maybe here in the Bay, I've heard from other artists and just people that have lived around here, they say it's not necessarily like that. Some people just are very competitive based, you know, some people don't really want you to make it over them, and I'm just like, damn, it's kind of weird because I mean, I feel like that's obviously that's not how it should be, but I feel like the Bay Area wouldn't have that mentality, just because if you look at the Bay compared to like LA, right? LA is definitely one of those places where it's like everybody's trying to compete with each other. Like, this seems like there's no spots open for motherfuckers out in LA, but
No,
you know what I mean? So it's like with the Bay, I feel like at least in those two examples, I feel like you would think that the Bay would have more of that togetherness there, that more tight-knit community. But I mean, I don't know. I guess as I kind of learned, as you're saying it, like it's not always like that.
Unless
but I mean,
you're already in,
right?
Like, you know, like if you're not already in, you're gonna have to figure out how to get in, and nobody's got no blueprint on how to get in. You got to figure that shit out.
Right. You know, and it's crazy too, because I mean, the fact that you said Mr. Fab was at the show, you said I Am Sue had shared some stuff as well. Like, I feel like people like those OGs, people that have been, you know, in the industry for a long time, and or are Bay Area legends. It's like, it's cool to have those people around, I'd imagine, just to kind of help, you know, give an opportunity to somebody, or at least, you know, kind of let them know, like, hey, this is the way that you should go, as far as pointing you in the right direction for something. You know what I mean? I mean, have you met artists and stuff like that who've given you like the opposite of that competitive nature, but they want to collaborate, they want to help you out, they want to like try to, you know, put you on a certain platform as well?
Most definitely. I would say I Am Sue have always been very supportive on social media, and that's enough for me. You know, I'm not one of those, you gotta come and I don't know, bring me in the studio, we gotta do a song because you support. Like, I'm not one of those type, like, however you want to show your support, I appreciate it. If that's retweeting me, that's a lot for me, because you have a following that's way bigger than mine. So just a retweet, I'm like, I'm like huge, excited, you know? And so I Am Sue always have shown support. I have did challenges before, I've won, and he sent me tickets to his I Am Summerfest and stuff. So he's always been very much supportive, and I always respect and appreciate that for him. He's very much humble. I will say Fab definitely did give me an opportunity to come into the store and chat. That's around the time I was still not really taking my music serious. So I didn't take that opportunity, and I could take accountability for that, where I kind of did let that opportunity slip out of my way because I was just too focused on other stuff. I wasn't really focused on rapping for real. But also I would just say Project Level definitely is one of those places where they just push you. They put you in, they try to put you in rooms. If they see you working, that's the thing. Like, and it's not a bad thing, I don't think. It's just it motivates me. You know, it's not like, oh, I gotta put in work. Like, duh, you gotta put in work. Like, you know, like, I'm excited. Like, but you do gotta put in work, and then when they see you putting in work, they'll put you in rooms and they'll give you opportunities. And so I just show up, and I think they notice that every time they call on me, I show up. So now they like, okay, you know, we could give her opportunities. We could, you know, this and that. And so Project Level definitely has been a help for me. Just being in that community and having a different, just being around all creatives, it's just inspiring me, you know?
Yeah.
And so I do feel like, oh, sorry.
All good.
I do feel like a lot of the OGs don't really reach back and give back too much. Like I want to be real selective on what I say, but
I know what you mean though.
There should be more OGs reaching out in the pond and not wait until you make it and got a blue check to want to, you know,
right.
Like I feel like I'm definitely qualified if you know, I got all it takes. All I need is the blue check and the followers. But other than that,
right, you know,
like you see the material.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, like the reason I brought that up is just because I feel like I've seen and heard a lot of the OGs really being around in the area like that. Like I've heard of like Mr. Fab being out here, or like I Am Sue, or even E40 I've heard has been out here a lot. There's even people like kind of in the film world. I don't know if you ever heard of Boots Riley. He had this movie called Sorry to Bother You, and he's from out here out in Oakland. And like he's been around. You got people from the TV show Blind Spotting that'd be around. Raphael Casal, David Diggs. I mean, of course, they're moving around a lot more in like Hollywood and LA, but I mean, Raphael, he's out here doing stuff all the time in the Bay and all that kind of stuff. And I find it interesting if those guys are like, what are they, you know, what they could possibly be doing, you know, to help folks get out there and whatnot. But I mean, I think just in the terms of the creations that the artists are making, like if you look at like what LaRussell's been doing and how he has kind of gotten his start, and like same thing for you, right? You're talking about like with Project Level and all the different kind of community stuff you could be doing as well. Like instead of, there's opportunities that can just be made just one day that an idea might pop up in your head and be like, all right, I'm going to do this. And that kind of adds to the whole marketing. You look at Stunner Man with Big STEFON. I mean, he's gone crazy with that. He's still promoting Big STEFON. Like,
exactly. And that's inspiring. I mean? That's very much inspiring. LaRussell actually they both inspired me. Stunner Man inspired me to keep pushing that song. Because what happens is a lot of artists push a song for like a month and then they on to the next. And so he's inspiring me, like, it's still people who haven't heard Freedom, even though my audience is like, okay, we want something new. But a lot of people never heard Freedom. I could still push Freedom. And that was like, you know, a couple years ago. And then LaRussell just motivates me to post content every day on my page. Because like you said, it's like you shooting a basketball, how many shots you gonna take, you know? And so that's really true. And I struggled with that at first. I used to be one of those people who post once a week, or, you know, and that's not, like he said, like, if you want to take 52 shots, go ahead, but I'm going to take 365. Like, you know, like, crazy, so he's been inspiring me, like, post every day. And sometimes I don't post every day because that's just not realistic. But me just being able to post more, it don't matter what it is, just post. It don't be too in your head, just post. And people going to react to it. So. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, it's crazy. There's so many different ways. Like, that's the thing. I don't think there's not rules in how to run your artistry. You know what I mean? It's just whatever you feel like how you want to push your brand and how you've already interacted with fans and how the interaction is genuine interaction. I think that's what it takes to really build up like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where do you think in this local scene right now, where do you think that you fit in this particular scene? Like as far as what you've been doing and seeing all the other different kinds of, not even just rap music, but different kinds of, you know, we mentioned R&B. Of course, we got Kehlani is also one of the biggest folks that came from the Bay. You know, fucking Zendaya, you know, one of the biggest, probably the big, I mean, I don't know if the biggest, that might be a little arguable, but I would say
we could say the biggest. We can.
Yeah, because I mean, damn, I mean, she's killing it out here.
I mean, Disney for Euphoria, like, come on.
Yeah, crazy. And of course, you got like, who else am I? There's also a couple other folks. There was a dude that was in the Matrix, Yaya Abdul-Mateen, who's also from Oakland. The one dude who was in Euphoria as well, the ginger-headed dude. Yeah, he's from Oakland. I had no fucking clue. But like, it's crazy. The Bay got so much talent, but like, where do you feel like right now that you fit in this particular scene, just in music, in the arts, in the, like, where do you feel like you fit right now?
Honestly, I think that's something I'm still trying to figure out. Like, it was hard for me because in the beginning, like I said, I was a lyrical conscious rapper, and I felt like nobody gave a fuck about what I was talking about. And I had to literally figure out, okay, I could still, when I do freestyles, I still could get lyrical and stuff. But when it's time to do a song, it's like, okay, I want songs that people could play in their car. I want songs people could play in the club. I want songs people could play in a party. So I had to learn how to I had to learn how to record songs that was out of my element, I would say. And so I don't know, it wasn't that I just feel like I really don't know what's my place yet. Like, I really don't know where I want to go with it. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I do know that I am an emerging artist from the Bay Area, and that eyes are starting to become on me, and people are trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. Like, you know, so I do think that I am a versatile artist, and I want to showcase that more. But right now I am in like my Hyphy princess era. So I've been doing more like Hyphy
princess.
Yeah, I've been doing more hyphy music, and people kind of knowing me for like talking my shit and stuff like that. But I need people to know I really got bars. Like, I really could spit on some shit. It's just I felt like people didn't really care, and so now it's just a little different because like I could kind of straddle the fence. I could spit with the spitters, and then I could also turn up with the niggas who want to turn up. You know, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna navigate that. I'm still trying to figure out like how I'm gonna navigate through that. So it is it's a learning process.
For sure. And it's interesting that you say too, because I watched this one YouTube video. I forget what it is. I'm gonna have to, for the people who are listening and watching on YouTube, I'm gonna link that shit down below. But there's this video I watched talking about kind of that same thing, how I don't know if it was a certain artist or is like a certain tier of artists or more underground based that would do a lot of that conscious
One
stuff.
second, I'm sorry. Somebody knocked on the door.
Are you good?
No, Shirley's not here. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you are good.
The kids be coming looking for my niece. I'm like, she's not even here.
It's all good. Now I was saying that there's this video that talked about how there's certain like artists that do a lot of the conscious stuff and they don't get as much love, which has always been weird to me, right? Because you look at like the two, like my favorite artists, like right now, 1A and 1B is J. Cole and Kendrick. I mean, those are my favorite people. And you especially you look at like J. Cole and Kendrick, like they are heavy on the conscious side most of the time in their albums and stuff, and just in their career. And they are 2 out of 3 of the biggest artists in the entire world right now, like hip hop artists. You know what I mean? So it's like it's kind of weird how now when you look at that, you don't see it as much. Like you look at people like maybe Corday, who I like as well. Corday is kind of rising up, you know, and starting to get more of that love. But at the same time, what happens is it always gets perceived as corny for some reason. And I don't really know why that is. You know what I mean? Like I personally like some of that conscious stuff more most of the time. But like, I think just in general, as you're saying, like I've seen artists like, I want to say like Trippie Redd, or it was like Trippie Redd or some other artists who they had like a certain kind of style of music, but then when they actually start to get rapping about conscious shit, it's like, oh, they can actually really like talk about this particular subject too. You know what I mean? Whether it's just one song on the album or a freestyle or whatever it may be. I'm like, nah, I mean, I think that's just good for the versatility, especially now in this like day and age of like hip hop and whatnot. Like it's good to kind of have that versatility and know where your core audience is. You know what I mean? I think that's the big thing. Like figuring out who your core audience is and giving them majority of that. But at the same time, as you grow as an artist and as a person, you're going to have so many different ideas and so many different kind of like ways that you want to go about projects and stuff like that too. So I think that's huge, you know, just in that case. But
and I also think before you go on, I think that I'm still trying to get back into my lyrical consciousness, because you got to think about it. I was a young kid rapping about real ass shit and people wasn't grasping towards it. And I think I took it too personal and I took it the wrong way to where I steered and I shied away from it a lot. And now I got like my rap book filled with shit, but I don't post that side of me much because I think I'm still a little like traumatized, not traumatized, but like I have to learn how, like, okay, and this is my whole plan too. People don't even know, like Young Thug said, I already had the plan, I just needed the platform. So my plan was, okay, I see people, they fuck with it, but they ain't really bumping it in their car and they ain't really, you know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them I could do what everybody else could do too in my own style. And then once I get those eyes on me, I could go back to doing the music that I love to do, you know? So right now I'm in the process of still getting those eyes on me. Then once I feel like I got my main core fan base, then I could kind of give them music that I want to give, but still giving them the music that they fell in love with too, you know, like
Right.
mixing it in. So that is important that you said that, because I think people should shed more light on dope lyrical artists. And I know plenty of dope lyrical artists who can outspit any
For
nigga who
sure.
thinks they hot as hell talking about 4 5s on every song.
Right.
Like I could name
Come
a few
on.
people. Shout
Exactly.
out to Des Mac. He got
Yeah.
bars. Like Uncool Bro. He could spit, like, I'm talking crazy lyrical. Niggas can't even think about, niggas can't even listen to it, because and that's the thing, niggas mindset is too small. They can't even catch what we talk about.
Exactly.
So it's like,
and I think too, a lot of people, when they think of like Bay Area, like hip hop, they definitely think of a specific kind of sound. You know what I mean? Like they think of the E40s and the Too Shorts. It's like mainly like that, you know, like then you got like, there's an artist, I don't know if you ever heard, named Overcast, who is super, super dope. He's out of Oakland, and he's like, sounds like lo-fi, like lo-fi hip hop, like almost like Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator-esque kind of stuff, you know. And then there's artists who, you know, like, it's crazy to me. I guess one more thing before I move on to that, to my next question is like, there's even artists too. Another artist who I really like is Rex Life Raj. I really love his music. And I'm almost surprised that he hasn't popped the way that I feel like he should, because I think he has a great sound. But I guess to add in another question in there is, when it comes for you, like right now, a lot of your shows have been like within the Bay, right? Like in Oakland or SF or anywhere around, I guess, close to the Bay, right? So like, do you plan on having different shows, like, you know, maybe outside of the state, or like, you know, in LA or something like that? Or like, because I mean, of course, that's one way to, of course, how to, like, I guess, build up your audience, but also build even that platform too, you know, because I mean, as much as it may suck to say, it's like the Bay Area maybe not have the best platform or the biggest platform for the artist to really start, you know, boosting up out of. So I mean, do you almost see yourself at all like maybe having to leave the spot, or do you feel like you want to really try to kick down the door and say, fuck it, I'm gonna build up what we got here, you know what I mean, to really help put yourself on?
Honestly, it's definitely a little bit of both. Like, I'm not moving, but I'm definitely going to be traveling as well. I don't want to be stuck in a Bay Area box. And I think that's a lot of these artists issues, is that they get too comfortable in the Bay, and they got to remember, we have a whole world out there. This is just one little, you know, population. But I definitely I do have, well, I ain't gonna say I have shows, but we are in talks of having shows in LA coming soon. And so Santa Cruz is like the furthest place I've been so far.
That's
so
dope.
I performed there on when was that? A couple weeks ago. And then I'm also going to be there this Thursday. So that's my first show outside the Bay. And I noticed that it is a different vibe. And I did gain a lot of different supporters out there. And so I think that people do, Bay Area artists do need to get out and not just be so tunnel vision on the Bay. Like, of course, we doing it for the Bay. We love the Bay, but who want to be stuck in the Bay? You know, you want to be one of them artists that climb up. And, you know, you can't do that if you just focused on the Bay alone. Like, yes, I want to conquer the Bay. I want the Bay to respect me. I want to have notoriety and stuff, but I know that I still have other people I have to reach. And the Bay Area is not it's not solely my target audience. It's definitely not.
Right. No, exactly. And I feel like that's artists, I think, overall. I mean, I've met, especially the artists I know back in Indiana, it's like they're very stuck in being in Indiana. I remember going to a J. Cole concert, and he said this as openly in interviews, I think, before, but like the small town mentality, you know, is that a lot of people don't want to leave this place that they're in, you know, and that's just, that goes deeper than just, you know, trying to be an artist. I think that's just life shit, you know what I mean?
You get comfortable, you cannot get comfortable.
Yeah, and people also, you know, the way, because the world is fucking crazy right now. There's a lot of wild shit happening in the world, so a lot of people want to stay confined to their own comfortability and what they know and stuff. But, you know, like, so part of me can understand that, but at the same time, it's like, when it comes to being an artist, yes, like, you have to branch out. You have to, because, you know, there's so many networking opportunities that are also on the outside too. So many, you know what I mean? And the platforms and stuff, you know, can all be beneficial and whatnot. So I think definitely. I think you have a grasp on that of just like where you want to go and where you'll take that. What kind of challenges have you faced so far in this kind of like this on this mission, on this path that you've taken from music? Like what kind of challenges have you faced just trying to go about your brand, about your artistry and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, I've been through challenges. Like
Mhm.
it, people think it I make it look easy. I'm gonna say that. I make it look easy, but it's definitely a lot that goes behind the scenes that people don't really know about. But
Mhm.
I would say definitely first it would have to be me branding. It took me a while to figure out how I was gonna brand myself, and I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure that out. So that was very difficult for me in the beginning. I didn't understand it. I didn't
Mhm.
understand. I'm an artist. Why do I have to brand myself as like, like what? Like I
Mhm.
didn't get it, but now I totally get it. I also had struggling with networking. Like I said, I have anxiety. I don't really like
Mhm.
talking to people. Like, I mean, I can talk to people, but like I'd
Yeah.
rather just stay in my own box and talk to my people I talk to every day. Like I don't really,
Yeah.
I just, and it's not like because I want to be a mean girl or something. It's just honestly
Mhm.
because I have social anxiety. Like I just feel like
Yeah.
I always feel like I don't belong sometimes. I always feel like I'm bothering people or like, so I
Mhm.
try not to like be too pushy with people, but I learned that like without networking, it's impossible. You gotta
Yeah.
network. So I literally had to put myself out there, and I was very uncomfortable in the beginning. Like I was very uncomfortable, but now I
Yeah.
learned how to navigate through that. Then I also have to say lack of resources definitely. I don't have all the money in the world. Everything that I'm doing, I literally fund myself. There's no machine behind me. Is
Mhm.
nobody giving me money. Like I don't have no big homie that's like, here, I see you doing good. Let me,
Yeah.
like it's nothing. Like I have me, myself, my mom. I have a few support here and there, but I'm just saying like
Mhm.
it's just all me. And so I had to learn how to, okay, if I have this budget, how can I utilize this budget to push me the furthest, or what's
Right.
the best way to use this money? Like, should I use this money and put it all onto YouTube ads, or should I use this money and shoot a cool little video? Should I use this money and just
Mhm.
go record hella songs and make a project? Like, I had to learn that I wasted so much money in the beginning just
Mhm.
on decisions that I wasn't either sure about or just didn't really know. Now I learned like, okay, art is 50% of it. So I want to make sure I've got good quality art, make sure my shit is mixed and mastered right, make sure my cover art is looking good. So now I'm mindful on how I spend my money and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I still like I could use 10K right now. I could
Yeah.
I could use 10K and you feel me, do some shit with that. But I honestly I
Yeah.
just take whatever I got and I make it into something. Like everything you see me doing is literally me turning nothing into something. And so I learned that sometimes you just got to do it. I used to be in my head a lot. I'm a perfectionist. So
Mhm.
sometimes I'm procrastinating. I'm like, now I'm
Yeah.
like, let's do it. Even if I don't 100% like it, trust me, a lot of shit I put out, I don't be like, not my songs
Yeah.
wise, but like videos wise, sometimes I be kind of like, but I just still put it out because,
Yeah.
I got to. And so, I don't know. It's just like, doing that. And then another struggle I would have to say would just be being able to I said the lack of resources, and
The what?
then
I
I said
forget what
social
else.
anxiety,
Yeah.
lack of resources, and then branding myself. That's probably like some of
Yeah.
the main things,
The main ones. Yeah.
the
You
main core.
mentioned you mentioned a lot. Definitely as a filmmaker, I'm gonna ask a lot of stuff about your music videos and stuff too. We're gonna get there. But I do want to ask about so obviously I'm sure you've seen that one the interview with Lotto that's been going around, of
Mm,
course, where she was like said that people try to like hit on her in the industry, basically to
yeah.
get on to like, to try to feature a collab. Like the thing is like definitely with female artists, there's almost like a higher hill that they have to climb to really get respected and to get put
Yeah.
on in these situations. Um, I would hope in that situation nothing like that has happened, but I mean, has something
And
like
they
that ever
try.
happened? Yeah, has something like that without having to out anybody, whatever the fuck. But like,
Oh no, see, I'll
has
put
that
names up.
happened?
No, I'm just playing.
I mean, if
um
you want to, this is the excellent podcast. It's all good, but that's up to you.
See, I had to navigate through that. I had to figure it out. I don't do
Hmm.
too much business through my DMs no more because
Good.
If you're serious, you'll shoot me an email. You know, 9 times out of 10, if you're really serious, you're gonna shoot me an email. Or, you know, a lot of people reach out, oh, let's do a collab, and then they like, hey, what's up? Let me take you out. And I'm like, no. Like,
crazy.
If you want to collab, we're gonna collab. We're gonna keep it professional. If you want to, like, don't approach me in a professional way just to get in personal. Like, I'd rather you just off the rim be like, you know, I'm trying to get with you. You know, then I can respect that. But like, don't try to play it like if we trying to work and then you trying to work, bro. I'm like, bro, can't even work. But 9 times out of 10, all the men you see me around, they respect me. I love them. They love me. It's all respect. It's nothing like that. Like, if you see me around them, it's nothing like that. So I did have to. It was a few instances where I had to stop going to studios and stuff like that. I don't really like to go to other people's studio. I'm not that type of artist. Like, I don't work like that. I work better alone. I work better in my own space. And most of the studios, especially with the niggas, it's just like a party. I can't work in a party environment. Even though, you know, music is like, I just can't work in a party environment. Like, niggas getting hot, they drinking, they loud as hell, talking, screaming, joking. Yeah. My brain, when I write, I have to lock in. So like, I learned now, like 9 times out of 10, if I'm not already locked in with you, I'm not coming to the studio with you. So just send me the funds and I'm going to pay for my own studio. Yeah. Like, it's just a lot I have to kind of navigate through, but it is really true. Women, we have to work twice as hard. And the thing is, I don't necessarily think, I just feel like this is with anything though. Women, especially women of color, we can be overqualified, but still have to prove ourselves twice as much. And I think that is some masculine men can't fathom the thought of a woman coming in and shaking shit up and doing her shit and really, you know, and so a lot of them that's just insecurities that they are projecting out. You could tell the men that's secure because they like, what's up? I'm trying, you know, they don't, you know, some men like, I don't know, you know, she cool, but she on like, on, like, you know.
See, and it's crazy that people, because like if you look at the landscape of hip hop right now, a lot of the female artists are really running this shit. Like honestly, so it's like it's kind of crazy that people still have that mentality, but I mean, you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? And I think
when it comes to skill, I feel like we actually, not a lot of us, but some of us actually have skill, you know, and so they would disregard my skill and go to a nigga who just popping about 30s and Glocks because for one, it's easier though. A woman, that's more money you got to put into her. That's more, you know. So they'd rather, you know, I'm gonna go the easy route. I'm gonna get the nigga. All I gotta do is throw him in the middle of the street with with 5 niggas behind him in a car, and our video lit. You know, with a woman, it's a little different. You gotta, you know.
Exactly. No, perfect point that you said is like there's more money that has to be given, and there's a lot more. Like I said, there's just a lot more on the team aspect, on the care aspect that really is huge for that, and that's. I mean, luckily, you know, hopefully as you continue to go through your journey for music and stuff like that, is that you don't have to worry about too many folks. Because I've met 2 female artists who have kind of said similar stuff about the studio. You know what I mean? It's like they get invited to the studio and it's like they're artists trying to network with other people, but it's like they want to turn them into the groupies. Instead of like respecting them as an artist as well.
Most definitely.
It's weird. I've been to a lot of studios where I've seen a lot of people do that. I haven't gone to a studio with a whole bunch of rap niggas in a long time, but still, it's definitely seems like the vibe for most folks.
The atmosphere is definitely different. I feel like if they don't know you already as an artist, they think you here as a groupie, you know. So I'm like, hey, you know, I'm Journey. I rap. I'm not here just to be here. Trust me, I got things to do, but I'm here because I want to rap. And then they hear me in the booth and they're like, oh, okay.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just that respect thing, and which is super huge. So I want to get into videos real fast. I've seen a couple of the music videos. Of course, I've seen the 100 Rounds. That was the first one I had seen. Super dope. Like when it comes to like music videos and all that kind of stuff, like my questions would be who shoots your videos first, and then two, like with your videos, and if you've kind of also seen maybe like for instance, they just put out that new the Summer Walker just put out the one with SZA and Cardi B. Like a lot of those are super stylized videos, like heavily stylized videos, and there's not too many local artists I've seen that have done that. But like,
I mean, you see their budget?
Yeah, their budget's crazy. Yeah, no.
Their budget's crazy.
Their
budget is like my whole year worth of work. Like,
yeah, now the budgets are wild, you know. But like, I guess for your music videos though, like, is there like, because you know, there's almost a difference in some artists. Like I think Kendrick kind of did it for a little while. I would almost put him into that category where he had his music, but then his videos they were synonymous with the music, but at the same time is he put so much effort and care into the music videos that it really elevated the song heavily. Like, I guess for the videos that you've done or the videos that you want to do in the future, like, is there a certain kind of I guess path or a certain kind of like way that you try to create those too?
Yeah, see, I definitely want to step up my visual game. I think what happened was I went from no videos to like some, so I had to learn like, okay, I got to start from somewhere. And so those videos I put out was really just like because I needed visuals out. I didn't have visuals out. I only had audio and songs. And so I'm like, okay, we got to think of some quick shit and just, you know, make nothing out of something. But I was just talking to my sister about this, how like my next era, I definitely want to step up my video game and just bring different aspects of it, show people my other side. Because I actually, like I said, I'm a dancer, so I want to start dancing in more of my videos. Different sceneries, running out different crazy places, wardrobe crazy. You know, my makeup always on point, but you know how that is. Right. I definitely do have visions for my videos. I think the only thing that's holding me back would be my budget. Like sometimes my ideas be growing, but I'm like, okay, I gotta be realistic. Like
with the budget,
what can I really afford, you know? And then also like I learned that, I mean, you could put a lot into a video, but you gotta save some for marketing. I mean, you could put out a dope ass video, but if nobody don't see that shit, it's like, hey, okay.
Look, you're the first artist I've ever heard even say that. And that tells you something. That tells you something because a lot of artists do not know that, and like it makes me mad as a film director who have to work with a lot of artists who they don't understand that aspect of it. Is like, yeah, this is how much it might cost for your video because this is how much the production actually is with everyone that you're paying or whatever, all the different kind of stuff that's going on. Then there's the marketing, like when it goes to like Facebook marketing, Instagram, YouTube, Google, all these different kinds of ways to market your project, even marketing with like you know, local I would say like local. I'm trying to think. There's a specific kind of people market with websites, you know, or people market a whole bunch of different kind of stuff like that to, you know, continue to help kind of get their platforms and stuff push the videos and everything. But
most definitely, yeah.
You know, I would say too, of course, I'm a film director, so if you ever need a video, I got you. I'll send you my demo reel, of course, once we get off this the podcast. But because I'm definitely always about wanting to work with different artists, especially out here. You know what I mean? Like hip hop music in general is another passion of mine as well. So it's like I always want to make sure to connect with different artists and stuff like that to be tapped in with that scene. You know what I mean? Because
definitely, yeah.
Which I think is important. My couple last questions for you. What are some dream collaborations of yours, like in local wise, but also just, you know, mainstream? Like, what are some dream collabs that you would want to have one day?
I already had one of them, but Btha. That was my dream.
Okay. Oh, dope.
But I definitely want to do another song with him, more hyphy, more turned up. The song we did was definitely more like just listen because we got some shit to say. But I definitely want to do another one with Neff. Cash Kid. That's like I'm a cash girl. I feel like I'm the girl cash kid. So I have to get up. Like that's my man's. Like I mean, just know like that's, you know, that's something that I really, 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 really want to do. So I'm gonna do that soon. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna manifest that. I've also manifested a feature with I Am Sue. Might be in the works. In the works. I don't know. I can't say too much. Might be in the works though.
Come on, yeah.
And then I also will have to say of course, if we're going mainstream, of course I want a Nicki feature. But I want mine a little differently though. I want it to be like, I got a hot song out and she hear it and she jump on it or she want to feature on it. That's my goal. Like I said, I want to make a song so hot that she have no choice but to be like, what's up, let's get on it. You know, like, I will also have to say, I'm not really like, I think that's probably like my main ones. Like, I don't really think nobody else is on my list like that. But other than that,
you'll probably come across some different kind of ideas or collaborations that you want to do, or somebody's gonna reach out to you and be like, "Yo, I've been hearing your music. I've been seeing the wave, seeing the movement. I gotta get a feature." That's what's up. That's what's up. My last question for you, and this is usually my last question I always ask for everyone who comes on the podcast, is what, for someone who's also coming up in the same position like you, you know, someone who's from East Oakland, which we didn't really touch, just based on the idea of what it's like coming from East Oakland, like just me being from out in Indiana,
important.
It is very important because, you know, Oakland is my favorite place in the Bay because Oakland to me seems the most authentic and the most genuine of all the places in the Bay. Plus, they got the most Black people in the Bay. But so, you know, so that's important as well. But like, just from coming from East Oakland, just how important that is to show the people that you may have went to school with, or people that are watching you who may be younger than you, or even people that are older than you, seeing how you come up. Like, this is kind of almost another question, but like, I mean, I'm sure you see how important that is for you to really show that there's that to have that faith to really to get up there and make it out of any kind of situation, but to also really give back and make the situation that those people may be in better. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like almost like somewhat of a weight on your shoulders coming from this, that particular part of East Oakland, or just coming from it in general, to like, you know, to show your family and your friends that, you know, that all this stuff is possible if you just really put the work in.
Yeah. So I think that I will call myself the light, because throughout the darkness, I'm like the light. I feel like a lot of people see me as a light. Like, when I post, it's like excited. I inspire a lot of people around me, whether they say it or not. I inspire a lot of people around me to, no matter what, chase your dreams. Like, you know? And so I feel like, sorry about that. My mama here washing dishes.
Oh no, you're good. Shout out to moms.
But I do inspire a lot of people to, whatever field it's in, whether they want to start a nail business, or they want to start a hair business, or they want to start whatever it is they want to do. I think that I do inspire a lot of people because they literally see my come up, especially those who went to high school with me. They see me come, you know, I talked about the high school stuff. Like, they see me go from the kid in the lunchroom to the kid at the talent show to the kids on shows. Now the kid booked, you know, now the kid booked and busy. Now you can't even talk to the kid unless you got
working with Neff Farrow.
I'm working with Neff. They think, and a lot of people think not made it, but they think, oh, she, you know, and it's like, I still got a lot of, you know, work to do, but I think I am definitely an inspiration to my community and my hood and my people, because it's like, no matter what, she never gave up. No matter what, I remember her wanting to quit. I remember her complaining about not having support. I remember her this and this and that, but guess what? She's still doing it. Every time I post, I know they like people tell me to the day, like, I'm just so proud of you. Like, I'm proud of you. Some people can't tell me that because I understand they don't understand how I got to where I'm at. Imagine you on the same level with someone, and then you see them work towards their dreams, and you kind of still, you know, not to be like I'm up here and somebody down here, but some people see exactly and it's intimidation sometimes. If you don't take it as motivation, it could be intimidation, right? So either they're inspired or they're a little intimidated. And I could tell because some people be like, in my DM, you know, it's always private message, I'm proud of you, this and that, but never show publicly support. And then you know, and one thing about me, I'm not bitter or nothing. I take it all. I appreciate it and stuff like that. But I do notice the ones who do really support me genuinely. And I notice the ones who just like, hey, girl, I see you do your thing. I just want to know that I do see you. Don't forget about me. And, you know, like, girl, whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of hidden jealousy and envy behind a lot of stuff like that, too, for sure. And
but one thing about me, like, I try to just keep it all positive energy. Like, 9 times out of 10, whatever I'm putting out is like positive energy. So you could be mad. You could be mad over there, but over here, I'm happy. I'm just doing what I do. This is what I do. Like, I don't think people get it. It's not like forced. This is just all just authentic. It's just me being me, and people who see that, they could feel it, you know?
Exactly. And that's huge. I mean, with all of that being said, then like what advice would you give specifically to the young Black women? Because there's a lot of young Black girls who are definitely watching you right now and really seeing that and seeing that it's possible to do it. So what message would you give for somebody trying to get into that spot, just to try to make it out of like a certain spot like East Oakland or West Oakland, or just anywhere that maybe is not some tougher times growing up, you know?
First, I would say, once you have a vision, go for it. Put in the work, execute it. Don't just, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, don't just talk about it. Like Beyonce, don't just talk about it, be about it, you know? Honestly, like, manifest yourself, but also work. Like, say it out loud, write it, but also take steps to do it. Whether it's baby steps or big leaps, make sure you're doing something every single day. Don't let a day go by. Probably a few days for self-care, but like, lock in on your dreams. Like, really push yourself, because honestly, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in yourself. And then I will also have to say, stay authentic and true to yourself. You don't have to jump on every trend. You don't got to do what other people are doing. Everything works for different things work for different people. You don't got to get on Instagram, shaking your ass, showing your ass, trying to be a thought just to get attention. Young Black queen. You can show your skills. You can show what you have to offer without sexualizing yourself or degrading yourself in, you know, if you are a natural sexual being and, you know, it's just authentically you, then okay. But if it's not you, don't let it be you. Be you. Like Nikki say, I'm still giving sexy and I'm full covered up. Like, you don't, you know, like, just stay true to yourself. Make sure in the beginning you have a plan or at least like a vision or what you think, and then every day work towards that. And that's how you gonna, you know, you're gonna take steps. You're gonna get to where you gotta go eventually.
Come on. Y'all heard Journey Be the Reason now. Come on. Journey, thank you for being on here. Where, for all the audience that's listening and watching and stuff like that, where can people find and listen to your excellence? Where can people find you and listen to all your music and stuff?
So my Instagram name is PrincessJourney_. You can literally go to my Instagram and find everything there. But I also have a YouTube page. It's called JourneyBtha Reason. So it's Journey BTHA Reason. BTHA, Btha Reason.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure to link everything down below.
Yes, link everything for everybody. Down. I got music on all streaming platforms. I got videos out on YouTube. I got a project that I dropped back in September. It's still going crazy. The Hyphy Princess. Y'all know what's going on. And y'all gonna see me soon. Watch. And y'all gonna remember, like, I remember watching that girl in that interview. Now she on TV and doing this.
Come on. Keep doing it. I love the energy that you got. I love the music right now. And I'm excited just to see where everything is going to be happening for you in the future. So definitely keep going at it. Thank you to everybody for listening to this podcast. Of course, the excellent podcast. You guys know what it is. And I'll see you on the next episode.